We begin with a huge shakeup for one of the most popular shows right now. Mandalorian star Gina Carano has been fired. The news follows a social media post where Carano had implied that being a Republican today is comparable to being Jewish in Nazi Germany.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, it's the right move because there's so many. It's not just one thing, it's a few things.
Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
No longer be associated with Disney Plus because she made an overwrought Holocaust comparison that happens to be of the right. If you make an overwrought Holocaust comparison, you're of the left. If you call Trump Hitler, if you suggest that kids who are being kept separate from their parents in accordance with the Flores settlement, by the way, if that is like the Holocaust, you're totally fine.
We've talked about the dehumanizing of voices of opposition. How is she transphobic? She said, "I want my pronouns today to be beep, boop, bop." Oh, the humanity!
Yeah, so Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
Is that abhorrent beep, boop, bop, bitch?
AOC said the ICE camps at the border was concentration camps.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh, I was just wondering, Gina Carano, she's been in the news lately, and I know the UFC's basically had more of a stance of letting the fighters speak their mind. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Leave Gina alone. You know, listen, we make mistakes. We all make mistakes, you know, for everybody to go in on her. I love how Ariel Hawani made it all about him. It was all about him. Such a douche.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back again. You know, this is the continuing story, I'll tell you, you know, with Disney. And Disney is just literally just starting to burn. You know, they have this whole situation that's going on. Financially, they're doing well. They're saying that, oh, Disney Plus is doing very well for itself. It's got 95 million subscribers, stuff like that. Well, we expect not to break even until 2024, 3 years away from this. That's if they get there. That's if they get there. And the way they're rotating customers, I don't expect them to really make it there that quickly. And then, of course, you know, you have the situations with the movies and some of the TV stuff. It's just all over the place. And then, of course, the elephant in the room right now is the Gina Carano story that's going on, which happens to be, you know, there's so much detail out there. There's been some updates from Doomcock Overlord DVD. There's some things in the background that supposedly that there's more to the story, to the situation. It gets to the point where basically, you know, there's some rumors that they might want to rehire back Gina, but I think it's already too late for that. I think she is one and done with this company after the way they treated her. I mean, this is a character, and you know, and there's some people that I've talked to, and I've read some of their comments, and they say, well, she's she's not a great actress, she believes in this and that and the other thing, without really detailing what, they always throw up the trumpet and this and that and this and that, and not realizing, you know, she's a nice person. If you've seen the Drunk 3PO videos, and if you read a lot of her tweets, you know, all this started was because the small Puritans wanted her to put pronouns on her Twitter page. What do you represent? What do you represent? You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the Razzies. Yes, I'm going to make that comparison because that's what they did. They said, who do you believe in? And if you're wrong, we're going to really execute you on that. We're going to make your life a living hell. And that's what they did. But see, the problem is, you know, people talk, well, we need strong women. Gina Carano happens to be a strong woman, and she was not going to let this affect her. You have to understand this. Of all the IPs, the intellectual properties that have been going on with the Star Wars situation, the sequel stuff has not been selling out. In fact, on the anniversary edition, there's none to be seen. And I said this in another episode, they're selling Jar Jar Binks more than they're putting a Rey doll or or any other character from the sequel series into a mold. Jar Jar Binks, one of the most hated characters in the Star Wars universe, still got made versus anybody from the sequel series. And then from the Mandalorian stuff, the Carano stuff has been outselling, has been selling very well. Next to Baby Yoda, which would be the top one. Carano would be the second. So I know someone in the investment groups have asked that, why did you fire her? Because from what I understand, the leaked memo that was leaked out to IO9 or whoever you want to believe that got Deadline, whoever got the information first, was doing it to protect Gina, if you go by what Doomcock says. And that basically is, it was leaked out before the investors meeting. And you saw what happened after the investors meeting. The Disney stock dropped. And you may tout to yourself, well, Disneyland is closed here, Hong Kong is closed, Shanghai is closed, and stuff. Yeah, you could tout all that. But you got to remember, what are they talking about the most? What's on the top Disney headline? Gina Carano. Gina Carano, who basically has been in a couple of movies, not many. Is she a Academy Award winning actress? I don't think she's reached that level yet, but she's a good actress. Strong woman. She's made a good character out of Cara Dune. And Disney and all the graces decided to say, we don't need her. We could go with whatever, the situation, stuff like that. Well, guess what? The fan revolution is going to continue. You thought you saved yourself for having Luke Skywalker show at the end of the Mandalorian season. You've just pulled it back. And you've said to yourself, oh, I think we messed up. Maybe we should get her back. Well, the other half of this story is, no matter what you think of him, Ben Shapiro of the Daily Wire has offered Gina Carano to make a movie through his company. And you would say to yourself, oh, here we go. You got another guy, he believes in this, that, and the other thing. No, it ain't nothing to our beliefs or anything of that nature. This is a small company who's come forward and says, Gina, we would like to hire you and make a movie with you. And I've said this before in the Chappelle video. This is the new rise. In the 1980s, we had a lot of independent companies come forward. We had a lot of small companies making a lot of movies. We had a lot of straight to video movies in that time period. And that came from small companies that became bigger companies. Some of them are still here, some of them are gone. We're going through that again, but this time in a different way. We have creators on YouTube. We have independent creators throughout the internet. I'll use Alex Jones as a position. No matter what you think of Alex Jones, how crazy he is and stuff like that, they tried to erase him. And they think, oh, we've gotten rid of him. No, you haven't gotten rid of him at all. He's still there. He has his own website. He is making his money. You haven't gotten rid of him at all. You've basically armored him and made him stronger than ever. Do I agree with him? I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says. There are a couple things here and there that I do agree with. As crazy as it sounds. Sometimes insanity might bring you to reality, to the situation. Not saying we should believe everything Alex Jones says, but you have to look into the perspective. I came from the groups that we were fighting in public access years ago. Everything from LGBTQ shows to adult-oriented shows to language on the shows. And a lot of the people that I worked with, a lot of people who were around me, went through many issues. I can tout Al Goldstein, Robin Bird, a whole list of people down the line that I've been around. Some of them are no longer with us. They're not long with us. Others are. I could tout to Alex Bennett. Alex Bennett does his own, right here on YouTube, he does his own show on YouTube here. And we're both of deflecting minds. We don't have the same opinions. But I respect Alex because basically Alex fought back then. He fought for the IP he worked with. He was on that side where basically they were trying to cancel him. And this is long before Twitter, long before YouTube and Facebook and MySpace. This is before the inception of the internet. The internet was just a little bitty baby. And now you look at today, you have all these new IPs that are growing. People like Tim Pool, for example. Same thing. You may not agree or disagree with him. He may say things you might not like, or you might say things that you do like. But he's growing. This is a young guy who started out in Vice. He was in Zuccotti Park with Occupy Wall Street and stuff like that. That's what made him famous. And he's still growing to this day. And the same thing with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro started out at one point and basically as an opinion journalist and is growing. And now he has the Daily Wire. And now he's expanding further. Where are the feminists? There are probably some out there. They tried canceling out a woman. A woman. You know, they say, well, you know, there's not enough women in movies. There are not enough women in TV and production and stuff like that. I don't gauge someone by their sex, their race. I gauge them on what they can bring to the table. And when you have people that says, well, we need more women in this business. And when one strong one comes along, where's the support for her? Just because she has a different opinion that you don't agree with, you denigrate her. You cast her aside. But what happens when they come for you later on? You can ask the lesbians that right now. Because how many times they're being attacked now these days. And you look at everything that they say to you. And like I said, they say there's not enough women doing this, there's not enough minorities doing that. But there has been. There has been. They say, we don't have enough black superheroes. Wakanda forever. What happened with Coming in America? They had an African land there. Zamunda. I don't say Zamunda forever. That's been around a little bit longer than Black Panther. Well, actually, Wakanda's been around in the comic books a little bit longer, but as far as the movie IPs, Coming to America has been around longer. And other black superheroes, Spawn, Blade, Meteor Man, Mantis. And they talk about, well, we don't have enough women on there, superheroes or action heroes and stuff like that. But meanwhile, we had Cynthia Rothrock. We've had Sigourney Weaver. We've had, you know, many women in movies like Red Sonja, Warrior Queen. There's so many. You know, when they tell you there's not enough this and that, they lie to you. They use that to armor yourself to say, hey, you know, they think you're stupid, that you're not going to look back. But like I said, I gauge someone by their abilities, whether they're male or female, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. That doesn't matter to me. Matter to me is, can they do the job? What they're going to bring to the table. And in the case of Gina Carano, she brought a lot to the table. No matter what you think of her, if you don't think she's a good actress, fine. Not a good actress. Let me tell you something. She happens to be one of the most friendliest people as far as an actress on Twitter. And for her to sit with one of the independent YouTubers, Drunk 3PO, I would not be surprised if she's on Friday Night Tights. Because this past Friday, she was in the chat room. She was watching the show. I know she watches a lot of the show. I hope she's watching this one. And again, I will give that invitation out. Gina, you have an open invitation to be on Man Man with the Show or on Saturday Pre-Flight. Either one of these shows. You choose the time, the place, we will arrange it. Don't have to come here to the studios. We will basically could do it over the phone. We could do it over the phone. We could do it on a Zoom call, no matter what it is. And you say, oh, Zane, you're probably taking advantage of those. No, because she happens to be a friendly person. She basically, and there were many before. A lot of people that I've dealt with a long time ago, when I used to do a lot of interviews, were people that were not so famous, but I had them on the show. And we've discussed many things. Many things. I didn't have the greatest show in the world on public access, but I had people who watched. I had people who enjoyed. And I had a good crew. Even though we've had our crew, we had disagreements. We've had our issues. Some of us were not even in touch anymore. That was the mistakes we all made together. And some of us are no longer around. A good friend, Kenny, God rest his soul. He was part of my team. Enjoyed his thought processes. He had some funny stuff. And there were many others. Many others. Sue, John, Richard. Many, many people that have worked with us. Some of them I wish were still around. You know, I have friends like my friend David. Great guy, David Shifter. Good actor, does a lot of independent stuff out there. He's worked with some good people. He's done some mini independent films that have turned out to be very good. And I started with him. He was one of the people that gave me my start in the business. Him and another guy named Marcelo Romero. Wish we knew where Marcelo was. That's another one that's really funny. But you look to the perspective that all these people started somewhere and their lives changed because of where they were, the moment that they took upon themselves to expand themselves. My friend David, he's an actor. A couple others have gone on to do shows and they're working for ESPN, they're working for network. You know, some of them are working with Toei and Toho. And some others are working with Criterion, others are working with Realtree Outdoors. Many different IPs, many different companies. I have a listing that I worked with a lot of different companies. And you look to the way people are treated because they have a different opinion. Because they tell you something that, you know, that's the thing that gets me. They tell you the truth about something and you can't stomach the truth. You call them Razzies and supremacists, not knowing who they are. I've been called a supremacist. I'm Hispanic. I don't think I would be welcome in a KKK or white supremacist group. Someone made a joke one time that the Rozzy leader, that the way they keep changing, as they say, race swapping characters. When will they get to the leader of the Rozzies and change his color? That'll never happen. Be sad if they did. And she goes over, and Gina goes over to Ben Shapiro's company, and she gets chastised even further. And it doesn't even hurt her. Doesn't even hurt her at all. So good luck, Gina. Good luck. I hope everything prospers for you very well. And if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, like, share this video. Hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching. Enjoy independent programming. I'm telling you right now, if you take a moment, go on YouTube or go on any other site, ODYSEE or Gab or Minds.com, Gab TV, catch an independent show. And I'm talking about someone doing a movie or a special, found footage fest. Maybe you might want to take them, watch something on theirs, or maybe watch one of the gamer YouTubers that have so much fun. They have so much fun playing video games, especially Among Us. There's like a group of them that that play Among Us all the time, and they have so much fun doing it. And I've had good laughs with that. And they're out there. There are people that are entertaining out there better than network television, and they can't stomach it. So take a moment, watch at least one a day, and see what you think of it. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.
Please kick my ass. Please kick my ass. Please,
You're not real.
please. No, he's real, all right. This is really happening.